Picture this, you're biting into a juicy taco, savoring that perfect blend of spice and lime, when suddenly, BAM! It cost you 30% more because the President of the United States decided to slap a tax on everything from Mexico. Or maybe you're sipping a glass of Bordeaux, feeling briefly sophisticated, only to realize it's now priced like a rare Pokemon card. Welcome to Donald Trump's latest economic fever dream, announced on July 12, 2025. A 30% tariff on all imports from Mexico and the European Union, effective August honest. Buckle up, because this is about to get as messy as a piñata at a toddler's birthday party. Let's start with the basics. Trump never wants to shy away from a bold mover, a bold tweet, dropped this bombshell via letters posted on Truth Social to European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. His reasoning: the US trade deficit is a national security threat, and these tariffs are supposedly the key to protecting American industries and bringing back jobs. Sounds patriotic, right? Like a bald eagle soaring over a factory full of apple pies. But hold on, let's peel back the layers of this economic onion because it's already making everyone cry. First, let's talk about what these tariffs actually are. Tariffs are taxes paid by American importers on foreign goods, which, surprise, get passed on to you, the consumer. So when Trump says he's sticking it to Mexico and the EU, what he's really doing is handing you the bill. Economists at Goldman Sachs estimate that 20% of tariff costs hit consumers directly through higher prices. That's right. Your avocados, your tequila, your BMWs, your Italian cheese all about to cost more than a front row seat at a Taylor Swift concert. And the EU? They're not exactly sending over cheap trinkets. We're talking pharmaceuticals, cars, aircraft, wine, 1 trillion in trade in 2024 alone. A 30% tax on that? It's like charging extra for oxygen because you're breathing too much of Canada's air. Now, Trump's argument is that this will shrink the trade deficit $235.6 billion with the EU and $152 billion with Mexico in 2024, if you're keeping score. He's convinced that making foreign goods pricier will force companies to manufacture in the US, creating jobs faster than you can say MAGA hat. But here's the kicker. Tariffs don't work like a magic wand. Studies from Trump's first term show that his tariffs on China, remember that trade war, cost American consumers $40 billion a year and killed 245 zero jobs. The US copper industry, which he's also hitting with a 50% tariff, didn't exactly thrive either. Companies just imported more from Chile. So instead of reviving American factories, these tariffs might just revive your grocery bill. Let's zoom out to Mexico. Trump's letter to President Sheinbaum wasn't just about trade deficits, was a bizarre tirade about cartels and fentanyl, claiming Mexico's turning North America into a narco-trafficking playground. Look, nobody's denying the fentanyl crisis is real, but slapping a 30% tax on tomatoes and car parts isn't exactly a DEA sting operation. Mexico's already the US top trading partner, sending us 69% of our vegetables and 51% of our fresh fruit. You know what has a short shelf life? Produce. You know what doesn't? Your wallet's ability to keep up with price hikes. And here's the irony. Government data shows more fentanyl is seized at the Mexican border than the Canadian one, yet Canada's getting hit with a 35% tariff. Apparently, in Trump's world, consistency is as optional as a salad at a fast food joint. Over in Europe, the reaction's been less, let's negotiate, and more, what the actual schnitzel. The EU, which was hoping for a zero tariff deal, got blindsided. Ursula von der Leyen called the tariffs disruptive and warned of proportionate countermeasures. Translation: Europe's ready to slap tariffs on American whiskey, jeans, and maybe even your grandma's apple pie recipe if it's exported. Germany's freaking out because their car industry think Volkswagen, Mercedes could take a hit. France is probably already planning to tax Netflix subscriptions in retaliation. And the EU's not wrong to be mad. Trump's been dangling a 50% tariff threat since June, only to settle at 30%, like he's doing them a favor. It's like a car salesman saying, I was going to charge you for the whole car, but I'll just take your left kidney instead. Here's where it gets even dumber. Trump's claiming these tariffs will fund tax cuts, maybe even replace income taxes for people earning under 200. Sounds great, until you realize the math doesn't add up. The Yale Budget Lab pegs the effective tariff rate at 17.6%, the highest in 9 decades. But even that's only projected to cover a fraction of the revenue needed to offset income taxes. Plus, if imports drop as they did during Trump's first trade, war revenue shrinks even more. So, you're paying more for guacamole and your tax break? Probably as real as a unicorn riding a jet ski. And let's not ignore the global ripple effect. The International Monetary Fund and OECD have already downgraded 2025 growth forecasts, warning of a possible US recession. Stock markets tanked 12% after Trump's April tariff announcements, and while they've recovered, this new 30% bomb could send them spiraling again. Japan's Prime Minister is talking about reducing reliance on the US, and Canada's eyeing non-American military gear. When your allies start shopping for tanks elsewhere, maybe your America First plan is backfiring. So, what's the end game? Trump says he wants companies to build in the US, but tariffs don't magically rebuild supply chains. They just make everything more expensive while other countries retaliate. The EU's already got a 24.6 billion hit list ready. Mexico's calling the tariffs unfair. And consumers? We're stuck choosing between overpriced avocados or no avocados at all. It's like a dystopian farmer's market where everything's marked up and the only thing free is the rage. In the end, Trump's tariffs are less about economic genius and more about economic roulette. He's spinning the wheel, hoping for a jackpot, while the rest of us are just trying not to go bankrupt buying groceries. So, next time you're craving a taco or a glass of Chianti, maybe stock up before August Honest, because if Trump's trade war keeps going, we'll all be eating instant noodles and drinking tap water by Christmas. Stay tuned to Lebo News, where we'll keep watching this economic soap opera unfold.